I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, new block, where that day. Bitches on my line, and you know.
Soulmaking, Appropriation, and Improvisation. It is chapter 6. So, in this chapter, we will tackle and discuss soulmaking or art making, which is primarily based on drawing out or depicting the experiences and practices in an individual and transforming this into images, either into a painting, sculpture, a composition, a production, or any other that is formed in art. Soulmaking. Soulmaking, or also known as art making, is an alternative venue for knowing ourselves and looking into the depths and real meaning of what we are doing for our everyday life. So one intention of soulmaking is to develop the artist in us, awakening the art in us that has been stagnant or undeveloped for how many years. Soulmaking is an exploration and application of the imagination in an active way. In making art, an artist or artisan or even the ordinary person utilizes imagination to survive and live. So we all have an imagination, but it takes a special skill to hold an image in thought and turn that imagination into art. Soulmaking can be an innate gift or a learned skill or a combination of both. Making art is not easy. It is complex and intricate, and it takes perseverance, imagination, and a lot of hard work. All through the ages, even the most talented artists have had to work for years to perfect their art. Anyone can be involved in soulmaking when he seeks to experience the exciting and moving journey of art making. So, there are categories of soulmaking: the crafting images, crafting stories, crafting movements, and crafting techniques. So, we will now first start with the crafting images. Crafting images, it refers to imaging or representing in any form, which may be through painting, sculpting, drawing, storytelling, poetry, dancing, composing, or taking notes. Crafting images is just like weaving, quilting, or doing crochet. It is not creating works out of nothing. It is rooted in our own personal experiences, our personal encounters, and even that triggered our reflection, recall, and judgment. For the crafting stories, the moment we write, engrave, and inscribe our own thoughts, ideas, commentaries, criticism, positive and negative emotions, we are crafting stories. Stories can be presented in any form: image, words, objects, and musical composition. Our own stories are sacred and important to us in a particular time and moment. These stories become our particular time and moment. The stories we craft become our own history that can be handed down to our children and family for the succeeding generations.
So, crafting instrument. Instrument maker is the bridge toward the unknown, because the instrument produces sounds that transcend our feelings, emotions, and sensation in another realm, according to Narciso 2016. The soul is accompanied by a vessel so that the soul will not vanish. Transforming any found or used object into a musical instrument allows one to discover harmony and balance to produce a sound that is entertaining, enhancing, and magical. So, crafting movements. Life is full of movements. It is filled with various beats. Life is full of flowing images accompanied by flowing narratives. And also, everything we do in life is a performance we perform live. Crafting techniques. Anything we can be crafted by using different evocative descriptions of experiences and explorations, like photographs, studies, puppets and masks, constructions, and notepad studies. So, appropriation. Appropriation refers to borrowing images that are recognizable from different sources and using these borrowed images to make a new art form. To appropriate does not mean stealing or plagiarizing. It is not owning a particular work but just using the artwork in the artist's new context. So artworks can be appropriated in two ways. Artists can appropriate artistic contents, so artistic elements such as motifs, styles, genres, similar elements, and complete artworks. And the another type of artworks appropriation is adopting items that we consider to be artworks, so specifically tangible creations of one's culture. Cultural appropriation, so culture, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, as cited by Young 2008, refers to a specific type or form of intellectual development. Also means the customs, practices, perspectives, and even creations shared by a group of people. So cultural appropriation, according to Young 2008, define it as appropriation that occurs across the boundaries of culture. Cultural appropriation is also a person with a certain culture takes object created by a person or a group of person of another culture and uses these objects as his or her own.
So, our next topic is the type of cultural appropriations. Young 2008 stated that there are three types of cultural appropriations, and these are the following. Number one is the objective appropriations. According to him, it refers to the appropriation of the concrete and noticeable work of art. It happens when a tangible work previously owned by people from one culture was taken and adopted by a person or a group. An example of this is an object appropriations is transferring a totem pole from North America to a museum in Europe. Next is we have the content appropriations. So on the other hand, content appropriation refers to adoptions of works of art that are intangibles. This happens when an intangible work previously expressed by people from one culture was adopted and used by the person or group or person from another cultures. Example of these works of art are short stories, poetry, and musical compositions. The next, and content appropriations has two types. We have two categories, we have the style appropriation, which is artists involved do not replicate the works created by a person or a group of person from another cultures. However, they use the elements from this work from another in creating their own works. The second category of content appropriations is the motif appropriations. So this happens when an artist are inspired by the art from the by the art from a different culture but do not produce artwork exactly the same style. Number three is we have the subject appropriations. So appropriations occurs when a subject from matter from another is called a subject matter from another culture is appropriated. An example of this is British writer creating a story about Pacific Islanders. It may be considered as the act of outsider taking a subject matter that is meant by insiders as a secret, considering that outsiders only have access of the elements of the cultures that they readily see and may be unaware of other elements of cultures that they are embedded and are not visible. They have tendency to distort the insider cultures. This may happen in an offensive way because of this subject appropriation could be morally unacceptable. Next Next topic that we will be tackled on is the issues on copyright, appropriations, and ownerships. So while art or institution recognize and have accepted the concept of appropriations, legal system remains strict on cases that be considered as violations on copyright. An example of these are the case of Cario v. Prince. So what happened here is that Arthur Richard Prince used photographs from Patrick Cario's book, which is Yes, Rasta, for a series of artworks titled Canal Zones. Prince is known for appropriating images in the creations of his works, in this case, Cario's photograph. The judge ruled that Prince indeed violated the law. However, upon an appeal, 25 of the 30 contested works were considered to be within fair use. Another notable case is that on the use of distributions of an image created by makeup artist Vlada Hargerty. So the photo was featured rose gold dripping lips was posted on Kylie's Lip Kit Instagram page, stating that it was inspired by instead of created by Haggerty, pero many suggest that she seek legal action for the issue. So eventually, Haggerty filed a lawsuit against Kylie Cosmetics but for another image which they copied. So the image in question showed fingers colored with gold and red lips. So Haggerty posted on her own page both her work and the one posted by Kylie Cosmetics side by side showing the similarities. So then the issue was settled with Jenner posting the original image by Haggerty on both her personal and her company's Instagram account with the captions of "This really is everything. Everything. Check out the wonderful makeup of Vlada Moa." So, next is improvisations. So, what is improvisations? According to the book, an improvisation is the art and act of improvising or of composing, uttering, executing, or arranging anything without previous preparations or producing something from whatever is existing or available. Improvisation is the performing arts is very spontaneous performance without specific unscripted preparations. Furthermore, improvisation in music engages creativity and imaginations, and in the theater, a performer may play dramatic scenes without any written dialogue with minimal or no prearranged dramatic activity.
Improvisation in the various art forms. In performing arts, improvisation can be thought of as an on-the-spot or at-the-moment or off-the-cuff, also known as impromptu. It is the spontaneous moment of a sudden resourcefulness or inventiveness that can just come up or pop up to mind, body, and spirit as a stimulation since no preparation or training is needed. Yet, improvisation in any life or art form can take place more often it is practiced as a means of encouraging artistic or creative behavior. This said practice includes learning to use one's intuition as well as learning a technical understanding of the necessary skills and concerns within the domain in which one is improvising. This can be done when an individual or group is acting, dancing, singing, playing musical instruments, talking creative artworks, and many more. One of the common improvisation in arts is the music improvisation. Music improvisation is the creative activity of immediate musical composition which combines performance with communication of emotions and while simultaneously playing instrumental as well as spontaneous response to other musicians. It can take place as a solo performance or interdependently in ensemble with other players. Another art improvisation is the improvisational theater, often called improv or impro. It is the form of theater, often comedy, in which most or all of what is performed is unplanned or unscripted, created spontaneously by the performers. In its purest form, the dialogue, action, story, and characters are created collaboratively by the players as the improvisation unfolds in present time without the use of a previously prepared written script. Improvisation Improvisation theater is sometimes used in film and television, both to develop characters and scripts and occasionally as part of the final product. Next is the dance improvisation. It is the process of spontaneously creating movement. The development of improvised movement material is facilitated through a variety of creative explorations, including body mapping through levels, shape, and dynamic schema. Lastly, the contact improvisation. It is a form of improvised dancing that has been developing internationally since 1972. It involves the exploration of one's body in relationship to others by using fundamentals of sharing weight, touch, and movement awareness.
So the practice. 5 rhythms by Gabriel Roth is to put the body in motion, to still the mind, to track perceptions and memories, to seek out gestures and shapes. They reveal ways to creatively express aggressiveness and vulnerability, emotions and anxiety. So there are 5 rhythms of these rhythms. So this is the order of those 5 rhythms. First is the flowing. So flowing is gradually begin moving with the flowing rhythm of music, stretching and inventing your own circles. Staccato follows music that is hard driving, pulsating beat. Let the beat take hold of you, inhaling each movement and letting out breath explosively. Movement is fast-paced and moving in lines and angles, no longer in circles. So chaos, on the other hand, is the jerking, spins, releases, taking every movement over the edge, yet totally grounded in your feet and no inhibitions. So lyrical, when you let go in chaos, you enter the rhythms of lyrics where you let go of letting go. And the last one is the stillness. So stillness is when you move in slow motion. You move and stop, then hold, and then you move again and then stop. So every gesture, total, measured, and your body is full and your breath also. And then your look is direct. It is always direct when in terms of stillness. Now let's move on to the 5 rhythms map. So the first map waves teaches embodiment of the 5 distinct rhythms. The heartbeat map teaches how people express the emotions of fear, anger, sadness, joy, and compassion. So cycles, on the other hand, is the map that provides insight and understanding about how one has internalized relationships throughout the life cycle. Insights and understanding of the ego is delivered through the psych map, which is the mirror.
So the last one is the Third World Improv. So the Third World Improv is the first school in the Philippines dedicated to the art of improvisational theater and real-life application of its principle. Also, a form of theater where the scenes, stories, dialogue, and movement are unscripted and unrehearsed. So we have the 5 improv theater in principles of their school. We have yes and, making your partner look good, being average, active listening, and lastly, the everything is a gift. So the first principle is we have yes and. This means each and every one needs to speak out and saying yes to every idea put on the table and the positive thing to build on. Because in our daily lives we use the principle with not so ideal situation, we're dealt in creating and something from it instead. So this mindset create positivity, and that is always a great thing. So the second one is we have making your partner look good. When we support and trust is created, a safe space is created for people to feel good about what they are doing, and therefore work together more effectively. So the third one we have be average. So in any career, the overbearing stress is always be the best can become demanding and draining. Most average people working together is better than people fighting. So you'll be surprised with what you can come up with, and when you let yourself be and trust that they will do their part as well. So the fourth one, we have active listening. So the very same thing is can be said with dealing with circumstances off stage. When listening to and being considerate of everyone and everything, you start to see where opportunities lie. So instead listening, you often find that everything you need just in front of you. So lastly, we have everything is a gift. Into both opportunity and gratitude, when every person learns to treat everything as a gift, they say possibility and purpose in anything that comes their way. That's all.